I secretly married a Muslim woman. Backstory: I white, Christian, male, 30, married a wonderful brown, Muslim, female, 30. I grew up in Nowhere, Oklahoma, in a town of about 400 people. I was a bull rider most of my life, grew up farming, hunting, etc. I drove loud lifted trucks and swam in the river. When I left school early, I joined a not so great racial group, just hear me out. Lived in a very patriotic conservative Christian town. I was your typical southern good old boy raising hell, slinging mud, and loved it. I left school at an early age, started working and partying like crazy. I moved to the big city as a teen, found some friends and had fun. One of my friends showed me a store that would sell me beer or tobacco that was owned by a Muslim family. One happened to be this cute girl, but obvious differences. I didn't have a lot of choice but to go there, but at least it was cheap. Over the next 2 years I somewhat got to know them, but not much more than I moved away for 2 years. I eventually visited to see my friends and went back to that store every day as still underage. This time something different happened. I noticed myself having happy conversations with them. With these great people from Bangladesh who were still fresh off the boat, so to speak, having only been here a couple years and still hardly spoke English. I started becoming friends with the daughter, going to the store or whatever together, and next thing I knew I kind of started to like her. By this point I was starting to realize that hey, these people aren't any different than me. They're wonderful, friendly people, and aside from accent or language and skin, they're no different than anyone else. I left the not so nice group now realizing that I was wrong for having the feelings I had towards other people and that we're all just people and I was being terrible. BTW, where I'm from had nothing to do with it, all white town, so no one ever talked about it and the people are very respectful. I ended up staying around just because I had feelings for her. Moved in with my friends and got a job. She was an incredible girl, absolutely beautiful, funny, very smart, sweet. She was the perfect girl. And we communicated pretty well. She spoke decent English and was getting better. Unfortunately it could never be because of who I am and who she is. She's not gonna like me anyway, even if she could be with me. Months go by and I can't take it anymore. I asked her to dinner one night, which was normal. We ate out before and decided I was going to ask her out. We had dinner and at the end I was so nervous and scared and so many butterflies I could barely speak. I finally just forced myself to blurt out, "I love you, would you go out with me as a girlfriend?" As soon as that came out my heart dropped to my knees. I knew it was going to be a no and just wanted to die right there. I heard her say something and I was so worked up that I couldn't hear. I asked her what she said. I looked up as she happily spoke out yes with the most beautiful smile and shine. I could not believe she said yes. How? She can't even be with me. We snuck around behind everyone, dating and seeing each other every chance we got, even if it was for 2 seconds. We would even drive all the way across town or leave work to see each other for Inuits. We did it a lot. Nobody knew, but life was great. After half a month to the day I knew no matter what I wanted to be with her forever. That feeling that people say you just know is confirmed real. I knew that no matter where life took me I had to have her by my side. I just wanted to be with her every minute of my life. I worked as hard as I could, as fast as I could, and finally came up with the money to buy a ring, and I was going to ask her to marry me. I nervously drove with her to our secret spot that afternoon and we sat by the water just talking. I worked up all the courage I had, turned to her and said, "Will you marry me?" After what felt like the space-time continuum froze for eternity, really half a second's tears rolled out of her face as the most beautiful, wonderful, smart, gorgeous, kindest, loving woman I'd ever seen said yes. The feelings I felt were unlike anything I've ever experienced and could not begin to describe the feeling I had. This is happening. She's really mine, I'm gonna marry her. Fast forward after another half month of fun and one day we seemingly simultaneously said, "Let's get married now." Still, no one knew of our relationship, so we called the courthouse in a town an hour away and booked the closest available date, which was the next week. On the day we snuck away from our day, got dressed, met up and went to the courthouse. Nobody knew about us, so we didn't have the 2 required witnesses. Luckily the kind people at the court offered to fill in. And that day we got married exactly to the day and down to 5 hours from the moment I asked her out. I was the happiest man ever. 2 weeks later, unfortunately, someone in her family who was her CPA noticed her different last name on an important form. She didn't say anything and later looked her up on the court records site and proceeded to call every Bangladeshi person in the state to tell them she married an American. She still lives with her whole family, and that night I got a call of her freaking out that her family knew. I went over to their house expecting the worst and got met with huge smiles and hugs. They were actually super excited about us. Hell yes, the next week we got a house together. Few months later she got pregnant and we started our life. Fast forward and eventually we went back to my hometown and met everybody there. Everybody greeted her with wide open arms. My dad, mom left 4 years old, was happy and kind. And even though it was heavily Christian and almost no one had ever seen a Muslim or even a different color person before, I was proud that my town didn't see race or religion or language and saw she was a great person and truly invited her Aru into their homes. She gave birth to our wonderful, awesome, healthy son. And we officially started our own little family in life. Life was perfect. After 7 years of marriage, life and raising our awesome, incredibly smart, wonderful boy. After the years of sickness, I got very ill and bedridden for several years, ups, downs, and all the twists and turns life has thrown at us along the way. I'm still madly in love with her just as much as the day I asked her out. Ran off and got married after just a few months of even really talking, and it couldn't have been better. Technically, we're not supposed to be. She can't marry a Christian. But we respect each other, our beliefs, and support each other no matter what. Religion never ever gets in the way, and we really don't even talk about it unless we're trying to learn something. We don't force either religion on our boy. He can be whatever he wishes and we'll support him. I'm not sure if as a Christian I can marry a Muslim, but I always tell people the same thing when they ask about it. God says no matter what, we have to respect each other. No matter who you are or your religion. To love one another no matter what and do all you can for others. That's all the permission I need. We have a wonderful life and family. We live in a wonderful place, have wonderful jobs, and I'm the happiest I've ever been and couldn't ask for more. The Lord has truly blessed me and life is perfect. Never judge someone over your differences. When you look deep, we're truly unique yet truly all the same. We're just people who want the same things in life. We all just want to be happy, to find love, be loved, to be safe, and to be comfortable. I now study other cultures' medicinal history for a living to bring people safe, natural, and effective medicine. It's incredible what you can learn about the world and its people when you open your mind. Let down your fears, your barriers, your prejudices, and open your eyes to the incredible world out there. People are an incredible thing. We're indescribable and full of greatness no matter what part of the ball you're on. You'll find the most incredible things and people in the most incredible places. And you'll find the most joy and humbleness.